Hi everyone. Today I'd like to share with you how to read a book effectively in just 5 steps. All of us know that reading an English book can bring a great benefit to your comprehension skill. However, keeping reading that book without giving it up is such a challenge. How many of you used to be excited to buy an English book with the thought, "Wow, I will finish it in 1 week. I'll write down all the new words. My English will improve a lot." 10% of those people can follow their path. The other 90% of people will forget the book after reading 1/3 or even just after 5 pages. If you're one of the 90% of people I mentioned, this article is for you. In this video, I'll show you 5 steps to read a book effectively. Step 1. Choose the right material. Step 2. Preparation. Step 3. Read and take notes. Step 4. Find the confirmation. And step 5, retell the story. Now let's begin with step 1. Step 1, choose the right material. First of all, you have to choose the right material. The books you choose must have the subject that you're interested in, most important, have the same level as your reading ability. Choose a subject you like because it will make your reading effortless. Reading about things you like will help you to have more motivation. Let's imagine if you don't like history, but have to try to read a book full of historical facts. You'll get bored and also give up quickly. You can read manga in English if you like comics. If you like romance, there are many good English novels for you. You can even read the Harry Potter series if you want. Don't try to force yourself to read academic books if you're not interested in them. Next, make sure that the book you choose is not too difficult for you. A book with too many words new to you will also discourage you from reading. To see if the difficulty of the book is suitable, please read the first 2 pages of the book and you will have the answer immediately. This is the first step in how to read a book more effectively. Let's move to step 2. Step 2, preparation. Don't get me wrong. You do not need to prepare too many things when reading English books. All you need is a dictionary and a pencil. I often use online dictionaries to make it easier to look up. The second thing is to prepare your reading goal. A very common mistake is that we set our goals too high. For example, I will spend only 1 week or 3 days to finish this book. When the target is too high, your brain will react by not doing anything to avoid failure. Set goals that are close to your ability. You can even set a goal to read just 2 pages per day for 10 minutes. Remember, it is persistence that determines whether you make progress or not. Remember, if you have no goals, you'll never get them. Step 3, read and take notes. You will read and write down the meanings of new words right into the book you read. However, don't try to remember the meaning of every new word you come across. If that word is repeated in the book enough times, you will automatically memorize it without effort. In fact, our brains learn by repetition. By rules, as I mentioned in the article, How to Improve English Reading Skills by Reading the Bilingual Book. When reading a book, some of you will prepare a notebook to write down the words in the book for further review. However, I do not advise you to do so. As I said, if you want to keep yourself consistent when doing anything, you need to make it as simple as possible. If reading takes too much effort, like taking notes of new words and trying to review them, it will be less likely that you will maintain your reading. I will just use a single pencil to write down the meaning of the word right in the book, next to the word I haven't known the meaning of. Remember it or not will depend on how often that word appears. If the word appears enough times, your brain will automatically remember it without you having to work too hard. You can remember the meaning of the word if it is repeated at least 5 times. Step 4, find the confirmation. This step is quite optional. You can do it or skip it. In fact, when you read a book, there will be times when you feel like you don't really understand this part of the word. There are 2 ways you can find yourself in this situation. The first way, you find the translation of the book you're reading. This is not too difficult if you use Google. For example, I read Harry Potter in English. If I were Chinese, I would search for the Harry Potter Chinese version, and you would find a lot of translations. Famous books and novels will be translated into many different languages around the world. When I apply it this way, I can tweak it a little bit. I can start reading English right away. I will read a short paragraph of about 2 to 3 sentences in my first language first. After reading, I'll try to memorize the content of that sentence before reading the English version. The feeling of reading until you understand it will really be very satisfying. The second way is to skip it. You guys just forget about it and don't worry too much about that part. I believe that if you do well in step 1, choosing the right book for your level, encountering such passages will be infrequent. You can still understand the meaning of the story normally. Step 5 is retell the story. Another thing I recommend you do is retell and paraphrase what you have just read. If you feel this is a waste of time, it's completely optional. However, this is a way that will help us make the most of the book. After about 2 pages or so, or after an important episode, I'll stop for a moment and try to retell what I've just read. Or if you want to make it simpler, you can visualize those details in English. You can refer to the method imitation that I share in this video, easy tips for improving your English speaking skill. It will help you know how to retell in a creative way. I've just shared with you how I read a book effectively, including 5 steps. Step 1, choose the right material. Step 2 is preparation. Step 3, read and take notes. Step 4, find the confirmation. And step 5, retell the story. You can refer to the method that I give, from which you can draw your own way of learning. I believe that your reading of English books will be easier. Let me know if you find it effective in your comments. I'll see you in the next lesson.